Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samaa News. Here are today's headlines. Pakistan's Foreign Office has dismissed reports of an upcoming visit by Chief of Defence Forces Asim Munir to Washington. The spokesperson said there is no confirmed information regarding any visit by Chief of Defence Forces and Army Chief Field Marshal Asim Munir to Washington. Rejecting a Reuters report, the spokesperson said the claim was incorrect. He said there is no information about the planning or finalisation of any such visit, emphasising that the government officially announces all high-level visits through proper channels. Any confirmed development regarding official visits would be communicated transparently. European Union leaders are facing a critical decision on whether to use frozen Russian assets to support Ukraine. At a summit in Brussels, EU leaders will decide whether those assets should be used to lend billions of euros to Ukraine, aimed at keeping its war effort financially afloat. The European Union views Russia's war in Ukraine as a direct threat to its own security and says continued financial support for Kyiv is essential. EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas said the bloc cannot afford to fail, adding that leaders would remain at the summit for as long as necessary to reach a decision. Russia says it is preparing for contacts with the United States on the situation in Ukraine. The Kremlin said the discussions would focus on obtaining details of US talks with European countries and Ukraine regarding a possible peace settlement. Media reports say US and Russian officials are expected to meet in Miami this weekend, with Russia's delegation said to include President Vladimir Putin's investment envoy, Kirill Dmitriev. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov confirmed that contacts with the United States are planned, but did not comment further on the reported venue or timing. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has promised a crackdown on hate speech in the wake of an attack on a Jewish holiday event at Sydney's Bondi Beach, as the youngest of 15 victims was laid to rest. Albanese said the government will seek to introduce legislation that makes it easier to charge people promoting hate speech and violence. Penalties would be increased. Cancelling or refusing visas would be made easier, and a regime for targeting organisations whose leaders engage in hate speech would be developed, he said. The US Senate has voted overwhelmingly to advance a $901 billion bill setting policy for the Pentagon, sending the massive piece of legislation to the White House, which has said President Donald Trump will sign it into law. The 2026 National Defense Authorization Act authorizes a record $901 billion in annual military spending, with a 4% pay raise for the troops. It also authorizes reforms to the system for acquiring military equipment and includes efforts to boost competitiveness with US arch rivals China and Russia. In a break with Trump, this year's NDAA includes several provisions to boost security in Europe. The United States has also approved $11.1 billion in arms sales to Taiwan, the largest ever US weapons package for the island, which is under increasing military pressure from China. The proposed arms sale covers 8 items, including HIMARS rocket systems, howitzers, Javelin anti-tank missiles, Altius loitering munition drones, and parts for other equipment. Taiwan's defense ministry said the United States continues to assist Taiwan in maintaining sufficient self-defense capabilities and in rapidly building strong deterrent power and leveraging asymmetric warfare advantages, which form the foundation for maintaining regional peace and stability. Russian President Vladimir Putin has said that there have been some calls in the West to prepare for a major war with Russia, and he described this as hysteria and a lie. He also said that if Ukraine and the West abandon peace talks, then Russia will take the lands it claims in Ukraine by military means. Separately, Putin said Russia would achieve its objectives in Ukraine either through diplomacy or by military force, vowing to expand what he called a security buffer zone. He said Moscow preferred negotiations, but would press ahead on the battlefield if talks failed, as international efforts continue to push for a peace deal. Denmark has unveiled its new NASAMS air defence system at Skelstrup Air Base, showcasing how the launcher is moved and loaded. Chief of Staff General Michael Hildgaard said this marks the start of broader investments to boost the country's defensive capabilities amid growing security challenges. China's UN envoy Fu Kong has said that implementing a two-state solution and establishing an independent Palestinian state is the only viable path to peace. At a meeting of the UN Security Council, he urged Israel to fully implement the Gaza ceasefire, allow humanitarian access, and avoid actions that escalate tensions, warning that prospects for lasting peace remain fragile. That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samaa.tv. Thank you for watching Samaa News.